Hey guys, how's it going? Hope all is well with you in your part of the world. And on the Time Bomb channel today, we've got a couple of what I would call watch oddities. I confess and openly admit that I really do dig checking out the sexy new watch releases. But I also do confess that I have a penchant for some of the rarer old birds. And I think you'll agree that we've got three here that really do fit that descriptor quite well. Let me just pause and zoom in there. So I'm not going to focus on Sedan because that's my watch, and yeah, I featured it before I think on the channel some time back. But where are we going to start with? Let's start with Goldilocks right in the centre. So this is a Mithras Sea Hunter. And I'm going to say that the brand is from France, but that's only because a few other watch nutters out there have bought these and spent a lot of time on blogs debating the watch and it's the brand's origins. I just love the name Sea Hunter, but I can't say that I'm sure it fits at all with the design brief here. I mean, that sunny golden dial, clearly more befitting of a dress watch. And the logo then, I think at the top there, you can just about see it, is more befitting of a G-Shock collaboration. And then the bezel here with all of that finishing, worn off, looks so out of place. And then as well, it just spins away here quite comfortably. Is a little bit out of place to me, but I actually like it even more for that, just because it is just so odd. If we just zoom in a little bit here, I'll put you up a close-up shot here. So the heady logo then is actually Mr. Mithras himself. Mr. Mithras was famous for killing a bull, being worshipped by Roman cultists who had dodgy handshakes and wore silly hats. And so, yeah, as I say, you can just see him just at the top there under the 12. But I think we just need to go back to that image just once again, because I think it needs looking at again. It's much darker than the initial romantic manliness I think that it suggests. If we look closer, we can see that there's a serpent and a dog drinking the bull's blood, and that there's plants growing out of the bull's neck. And then, worst of all, a scorpion has the bull by the nuts. I'm going to leave the symbologist to unpick that one. Let's try and get back to the watch. So all in all, an odd brand name and logo also, because it's not often that cult religions find themselves making their way onto watch designs or watch watches in general, I think. Let's pop that one back up there. So the next one that we've got there is this one. It's a Ross. Yeah, well-known brand that. It's quite funny because when the owner showed me this one, I was like, "Oh, that looks good fun." He said that he found just one singular reference to the watch brand on the interweb, and that was one of these watches sold on Etsy a few years back. And unfortunately, it's not this one, as there are too many differences with it. The case back's different, the hour markers are different, the hands are different, everything's different, which then all the more confusing because it's kind of the same design, the same brand. So why so much difference? I'm wondering if this is not also French, like our Mithras, and perhaps an offshoot of a larger brand. Because back in the 70s, it seemed that they really did just pick any random new brand name, to sell off generic designs. But I think generic does this one a little bit of a disservice, because I think it's great fun. It's got vintage appeal in dollops, and yeah, clearly carrying multiple influences from loads of other brands. I mean, the hands, the integrated cyclops, the hour markers, the bezel, yeah, they've all been lifted directly from other watches. Can't say I'm overly keen on the leather NATO on this, because I think, and let me just throw it on wrist. My other oddity is the Pingo, but maybe it's not that odd now, because so many people really started buying it again in the last couple of years. It's come back to life. Let me just throw this on wrist for you here. So there we go. So I think it just the leather forces the watch to sit up a little bit too high for me. But again, it's not mine, the owner's preference with this one. Clearly it's been used for a couple of years on this, so whoever's owned it before has been quite happy with it. But I think, yeah, the curious thing, of course, is that then removing that leather then gives you a chance to have a look at the case back, which I will show you here. A really great fun design on the back here. There's your diver with the above us the waves, and a little fishy joining the diver on his underwater adventure. It's very, very simplistic, but brilliant. Makes me giggle. Absolutely love it. So again, this one is not working fantastically. It is in need of a service. It sort of runs. Let me shake it again, and then it'll stop again. Yeah, see, at the moment it's not very happy. Come on, you can do it. But I think, as well, as I say, the current owner is going to be servicing this one, and yeah, hopefully get it back on to show you when it's running. The last oddity off here, sorry, it's just slipping around a little bit, is this one. Again, kind of difficult to learn that much about it. I think it's a Time Master made by or for Chrono Swiss, and it's sort of a jump hour with a BFG, so Baumgartner 866 movement buzzing away inside. And I can't tell you much more than that because I can't find any details on it. But oddly, as you can see on the design there, on the dial there, it describes itself as being digital. However, it is a winder, and it has a super tick to it. Where's the microphone? Down there. Not sure if you can hear that, but yes, to me, it lacks any digitization whatsoever. However, the case body design as well is really quite quirky. The straps, as you can see here, join so high up on the front of the face that the watch itself almost appears, upside down. And I think you could easily be forgiven for thinking it was reversed. Let me just try and get it on wrist for you so I can show you what I'm talking about. Fortunately, the strap on this one is a little bit... God, it's a bit tight. Yeah, I've only just got it onto that last one there. But as you can see on wrist, it's really quite fun. I do like it a lot. But as I say, almost looks totally upside down as it forces that it's forced into your wrist by these. What were they thinking when they designed it like that? Hilarious. I think it actually works in some respects because the case body is so small. If that case body was any larger when it was actually on wrist, then I think it would just be flapping around too much. So yeah, I guess a closing question to you, looking at all of these three here, including the Saddam here. What's the weirdest watch that you've ever bought? Comments down below, please, guys, and don't be shy because we've all bought some stinkers and some oddities in the past. Anyway, all right, guys. Up until the next vid, this is your host, the Bombardier, signing off. Cheers.